For years I've been devoted, grew it, bagged it and sold it, roll it, lit it and smoked it, living life out of focus. I'm certified with this
Marcus
shit.
Hallett once again with the Renegade Master.
Back once again, I think we're just going to come on here and talk shit for 45 minutes.
See how it goes.
Yeah,
Roll the punches.
Big Mark, what's happening, mate?
All good, big dog.
What day are we on today? Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
Tuesday, and what about training after?
You doing it too?
No, mate,
No.
me
Sure?
still, yeah, torn ACL, mate, still holding
still.
me back. Do you know what, mate, see when it jumps out, when it locks out, for like 2 days after, it swells up, but the more it does that, then the longer the fucking swell up here lasts.
Did not dislocate about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it just locks out, yeah, so like when you're doing something, it locks out and then locks back in, but at the weekend there, I don't even remember it locking out, but yeah, I just woke up and it was just fucking the size of fucking whatever, and I haven't been able to walk probably since. So yeah, mate.
Do you know what I think would be a good idea? See if we've got like the video and videoed around the gym. But like while we're speaking over, see if we get onto the topic of BSC and then here, like have a video going around the gym. You know, like so you can cut it.
Yep. Panning in and out.
Pan them out. Not just kind of
Yeah,
head
mate,
or not.
like that. I mean, I have lots of
Ideas.
ideas to do with like things that we want to do with content and stuff like that. Jordan, I spoke to Jordan about a few different things. And
Jordan
yeah,
Sweeney, he's good.
Sweeney Bopper.
Really good.
So yeah, mate. So there's lots of.
But all them content creators are all class. Like see, look, Ebron, Alex McKnight, Jordan Sweeney, like they're all, even Robbie Gallagher, they're all, and yourself.
Yeah.
They're all, but they're like all self-taught on it.
Yeah. I think when you're anyway a creator, you might have like some sort of background and you may not even. Do you know what I mean? It's not really starts with a hobby and then you sort of progress from there. Because I said to Robbie Gallagher actually one day about it, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm getting there. Like it's just it's just self-taught. Takes so long. He says we're all self-taught, and I was like, yeah, right enough. So it's everybody, but it's just like through like desire and passion and watching other things, wanting to be better yourself.
I think you have to have that sort of creative.
Well, you have to be
creative. Like, don't you?
You have to be creative because otherwise you're just going to be reactive and just be copying things other people are doing. Saying that, there's nothing really new and groundbreaking about anything anybody's doing. Very rarely somebody will come out with something that nobody's done before, but it's you still have to be creative and put your own spin on it.
Yeah.
I think that's in essence what's happening. Plus at the end of the day, we're all kind of copying things that we've seen and thought, fuck, that looks class. I'd love to help my place, but I'll do it a wee bit
Do you know what
different.
probably is too? Kieran talked about it in the last podcast, like with perception without awareness. Like you're sitting scrolling through reels and there's some stuff you aren't even taking in, and then you'll be recording something. You'll be like, oh shit, I got an idea. I'm gonna cut this way and then cut that way.
Yeah, I have loads of ideas like that. Like I'm like, fuck, this would be a good business idea. This would be a good, but like you've probably seen it somewhere before. That's what I mean. There's no real new and reinventing the wheel type of scenario, especially when you consume so much content. Like you're taking in a millisecond of each, even subconsciously. So when you come up with an idea, you might have maybe something that we've even talked about before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey Mark, we should do this.
That's what you should even last podcast with Kieran. He said that he heard me say that quote.
Yes.
Before.
Yeah.
And then
you probably heard it on our podcast.
Yeah.
But then he's reiterated that because it makes perfect sense because it's good for exactly what he was about to say and close with and everything else. But he's heard that somewhere else. But he didn't know that he was reciting that back to you. Or no, when you said it, he was like, that's how I finished my last thing. But obviously he hadn't even thought of that. But yeah, you don't even need to reinvent the wheel to get your message out, get your story out, really. Like, and if people are familiar with the words that you're saying, then it'll probably make even more impact rather than something new and profound. Like,
But you can see with coaching and all too, people try to overcomplicate things. Like all these crazy movements and squatting, deadlifting, and pressing. That's where the body's at. Like for a lot of stuff, like don't get me wrong, there's certain other things that you can do to try to help, but it's accessory work. But generally speaking, it's
it depends what you want to do. Like if you really look at powerlifting, there's accessory work, but at the end of the day, squat, bench, deadlift. So if the powerlifters try and get as strong as possible, those three movements are pretty much your good bang for your buck. Bodybuilding is completely different. Bodybuilding isn't about the amount of weight you can lift. It's how you can grow muscle. Like that's literally it. Bodybuilders would probably tend to use more machine type things, because it's better to build muscle. I would love at some stage. I don't even know if it would be anything you would do, but I would love like to have a section of BSC, or like a different part of BSC that would be just like a machine based style setup because I still love all that, and I think there's lots to it.
See, I'm the opposite. I think what you've got here is perfect.
Oh yeah. No, listen, I love all
See the free weights. I don't like machines.
No.
I prefer the free weights.
I like them because you can really focus on that mind muscle. You can really dial it in and isolate the muscle, and you get lots out of it from like a bodybuilding perspective.
Yeah.
There's lots you can do, and like there's lots we do in there with free weights and bands and stuff. That you
Did
can
you really bodybuilding before? So
No.
like you starting out?
No,
So
not really.
no.
I think anybody that went to the gym attempted that style of training, but it wasn't really. You didn't really.
They had big posters of all.
You were never like dialed in. Like 99% of people were never dialed in just for, like the way people who would say they're bodybuilders now are. I follow quite a few
You
bodybuilders
see
people
like
now.
Kai Green. He is an absolute weapon.
Oh, I know.
The size of him.
Those guys are ginormous.
He done a thing with Buttery Bros. Did you watch it?
No.
On so they brought
He's an artist as well.
Yeah, Rain Body Fuel. They the drink. They they brought together all their athletes and had like a mini like a CrossFit games type thing. But only it was like so they brought like 4 in Kai Green, Justin Medeiros, and they had like CrossFitters versus bodybuilders versus powerlifters
Oh yeah,
versus
just all different sort of.
screwed in it. Really good. It's on YouTube. Buttery Bros. It's good.
Body Bros content's pretty good.
Very very good.
I do like content. I would like to do more YouTube-y type stuff. I'd like to do more sort of behind the scenes stuff what we do at the gym. With regards to just like your day-to-day running as a coach, how that goes, because I suppose like
That's a good idea.
people are members of the gym are sort of here for 1 hour of the day, but just give a bit of insight into what actually goes on behind the scenes, sort of what it takes. It'd be good for people who are even considering opening a gym to really see what it takes, because there's a lot more that I've seen since obviously opening here that I didn't really sort of anticipate before. For example, coaching 5 or 6 classes a day. I always looked at that before as working 5 or 6 hours a day, but that's just part of what your work is. So at the end of the day, like so we'll get up in the morning, so you'll be up like 5:15. First class is 6 till 7, and you don't close the laptop like 10:30 at night. So I mean, I don't know how many hours that is. That's a lot of hours.
But
So if you're looking at what, 18 hours maybe, 18 hours a day.
But even mental focus, you need to be coaching 5-6 hours a day. It's like mentally tiring. So like we both come from like working with physical jobs, like the construction industry, and like that's there's not much thought put into it, but you're sort of it's just like you're physically tired.
You're on autopilot. So when you kind of know what you're doing, if you've been doing it for a long period of time, you're kind of on autopilot, and you don't need to speak to anybody.
No.
Such you can just kind of tear on with stuff. And I thought coming from a background of like a labour intensive background where I could easily smash out 14-hour days of doing hard manual labour, that coming into running a business where you're only coaching 5 or 6 hours a day, I was like, fuck, this is going to be a breeze. But way different. The brain power that you have to use most of the day is like you're still doing like, so you've got your own training to try and squeeze in there somewhere, but you're also still demoing everything, so you're still doing quite a bit of like physical work, but the mental power of like trying to sort of hype people up and working out when your community, when members come in, they're not feeling great, and then you're thinking, they're not on top of their game today. I wonder, are they okay? Is there anything I can do to help them? Do you know what I mean? And that sort of aspect comes into it. So you're thinking about that. Also, while you're still sort of coaching the class and watching everybody's form and giving people pointers and trying to encourage. Again, like coaches aren't cheerleaders, but we do cheerlead like as part of what we do. And you're a master motivator, but a master motivator alone isn't really cutting the mustard. Yeah. But that has to be part of what your gig is. If you're doing
What made you get into coaching? Was there something?
What was the reason? I actually don't know. I don't know if there was.
Did you get into coaching with the intent of I want to have my own facility someday, or was it like I want to get into coaching to help people, or I want to get into coaching because it helps me, or what was the idea behind it?
I don't know. See when I was in school, I wanted to be a PE teacher, so that was the sort of I think I'd agree. It's like you needed like 2 C's. To get back into school or whatever it was, and then you needed to go and do your thing. So I never got them. So I ended up just going down your sort of your bog standard what your dad did role.
Yeah.
So I went and did plumbing. Didn't care about plumbing. It was just the thing that was next on the list. And it was fine. But I didn't really even care about, even up until I was about 25. I still just didn't give a fuck. Like, we were still just sort of on that cruise mode type thing. When I was 25, left plumbing for a few years, got a job in a factory. That's when I realised, here, fuck, I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Monotonous. It was just, for me, it was just so, there was no creativity. There wasn't really much room for like growth.
Yeah.
Even to level up to like a better role within the place. It just seemed like, right, okay, this is what I would be doing for the rest of whatever time. And I just couldn't, like, ADHD, like, that's just the fucking worst nightmare, like.
Yeah.
So from then I left and started a gas business. It was really good. And then sort of filled my way back into doing more bathroom type stuff, and then I'm doing more bathrooms than gas stuff, and just kept on with the bathroom stuff. From there, everything was good. Then we came into lockdown. No, was it before lockdown? I don't know. I can't remember what the actual first sort of coaching bit we did. It was the first 30 programme. It was an idea that I had, and I went with it, and I had two mates on. Big Michael trains in here, Michael McCauley, Michael McCleary, brother-in-law. They were the two people on it because obviously I couldn't afford to charge anybody, so I was like, here mate, let me come and train you for a month and we'll go through this programme. And like, see, after the first training session, like, I knew that was it. I was like, this is living, this is, but that was after that one training session. And from then it's just been a bit of a spiral. Never wanted to own our own facility. Like, I suppose every coach at some stage, you know, that's maybe like an end goal or a dream, but it wasn't even something we were thinking about. So it wasn't like a longer term goal, but it's just we wanted to help people, wanted to serve other people, and the more the programme grew, the bigger it got, and then you kind of got to a bottleneck. So there was like 17 people or something on the programme, and you're like, fuck, you know, how can we want to bring more people in, but these people still want to stay on the programme every month, so you couldn't grow. And then I suppose when you got to that bottleneck, it was like, right, okay, what do we do? If we open our own facility, we can offer them far more for far less, and then we could also share that with more people. So that's what we've done. But brilliant. Like, it feels like this is still it. Like, this is still, for me, this is still living. Do you know what I mean? Yesterday, so we've got a nutrition challenge. I suppose it's a challenge. So we have a nutrition challenge on this month. We have a focus every month, and this month we're focusing on nutrition. The first 2 months of the year we focused on trying to get everybody in to be consistent with training. We didn't want to just launch too much stuff to too many people too soon. So we focused on getting consistent with their training, which we did. We ran an 8-week strength block, come out the other end, everybody PB, doing things that they didn't think they could do, which was insane. Which was absolutely insane.
Sophie got pull-ups, seen her pull-ups.
We had pull-ups.
Yeah.
So with a weighted fucking belt. And a lot of these people couldn't do a pull-up before. So yeah, incredible. So we ran our 8-week strength block there. Everybody was consistent, seeing the results paying off, brilliant. So we're now starting into our 12-week strength block, and we're now through in a nutrition challenge. So we are doing a whole 30. So this is the nutrition challenge we did with the first 30 programme. And now we're doing it with the whole gym, which is amazing. Everybody's welcome to do it. Some people are doing it a wee bit, some people are doing all in. But yeah, so that's what we're doing this month. So yesterday, that's where we're getting from. So yesterday I was feeling hangry. You know what I mean? I'm at that stage in the day 8. Today will be day 8 or 9. So I'm at that stage where I was just feeling hungry. I didn't eat properly yesterday. I hadn't food prepared and couldn't just go and buy convenience side because it didn't fit within what the whole 30 was. But then last night, the last class, just a really good atmosphere. So we had the 5:30, buzzing, place was absolutely rammed to tits, with car park was full, just incredible. And then we had the teens in after, so there was 11 of them, which was amazing. And then straight on after that we had the last class of the day, and again just the high vibe. Those guys hadn't tested their back squat, so Mondays we squat, so instead of starting the new cycle with them, they were able to retest their 1RM back squat last night. So whenever they left last night, just sat for a wee second, I was like, fucking wonder day. Absolute wonder day.
That's a wonder day.
Mate, but it was, mate, and it was like, I did stuff on Sunday that came to fruition on Monday. It was like, And it just was any time where I have like elements of like self-doubt within this place, or because we all get it, all creeps in, and it's nothing to do with ability or the way things are going, but you just have this fuck, I'm not doing enough, I'm not, any time I have those things, something happens. Victoria putting in, Victoria writing a review on the Facebook page, like a recommendation or whatever it is, I don't know what they call it on the Facebook page, but writing a recommendation, but that came through, I wasn't expecting that, so that and then a few other things, and I was like, yeah, do you know what I mean, like it just, anytime I have that self-doubt, and it's been like that with this whole project from the start, anytime I felt like, fuck am I doing here, I've just been reminded by something, anything, the universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that you're going in the right direction, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Even from a financial point of view, because the minute like Claire and I are paying ourselves about £200 a week, you know what I mean, like your food shopping's $150 a week, you do the math there, you're not getting hardly any money, but to the start of a business, you need your business is never going to grow if you're paying yourself more at the start, you know what I mean, you gotta build it up and earn that, so that's difficult, and there's days where I'm like, what am I doing here, like I've went from doing renovations, building up a successful business, earning really good money, to essentially earning £200 a week. I'm like, fuck am I doing? But
you feel like this is what you've been put here to do. Like you feel as if you belong.
Listen, you just need to. You keep getting sucked back into that normal material world, but then you just need reminded and humbled every now and again. It's like, listen, this is not what it's about. You're doing something much greater here, and if you keep focused on what you're doing, then like all of that will just be like a byproduct of it. But yeah, it's challenging. I mean
if you look at like, do you ever watch the documentary The Minimalists?
Yeah.
So they sort of hit the nail on the head where like this guy, and if anybody hasn't seen it, I'm going to bastardize this.
I know.
Did you meet him? Did he hug you?
No, it was two of them. So they did before the Netflix documentary, they had a book out. It was the book for the Netflix documentary, and they were over in Belfast at it was like a bookshop. One of my friends at the time, Stan Galley, he said to me about going with him to this thing, and Scotty, and three of us sat there, and that's the first time sort of seen them, but it was it's actually really, really good. And listening to them and their story and everything, but there's lots you could take away from that.
100%, yeah. But even if you look at, because I think they says that what was one of the guys, he moved up the corporate ladder, didn't he? He ended up in a really high part job, and then so he got himself he had like a Porsche or Ferrari or something, big house, and then he had this big house, and I think his mum got cancer. I think his mum got cancer. I don't know if that put everything into perspective for him or not, but he had this big house, and then he was like, right, I'm going to have to go to IKEA to buy a rug, and to buy a sofa, and to buy this, and to buy that, just because that room's empty. And then I think it's just like that constant thing where we're always chasing those new. I heard this on a podcast, right, and it says that see credit cards and credit, it's like modern day slavery. And I suppose when we think about it nowadays, it's like, because we're always getting new phone contracts, new cars, everything's out in finance, and I think it forces a lot of people to maybe be stuck in the same job, that same monotonous job, just cashing checks.
Because you can't afford to leave.
You can't afford to leave, mate, because your phone contract's £100 a month, your car's $250 a month, your mortgage is this, and you don't need, and even a lot of them guys, in that documentary, they said whenever they eradicated a lot of that materialistic stuff out of their life, it just cleared their mind.
Yeah.
And it made life a lot more simple. So like they have one coat, one seat to sit on, like one TV, and just the things you need.
Yeah.
I think like we can't get sucked into having the newest iPhone, the newest MacBook, the latest and greatest, and everything's on finance. And see Klarna and all too, mate. Like that Klarna, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. You're like, that's £150. Oh, it's only £50 over 3 months. I'll do that. Boom. Yeah. And then you get sucked into it.
Yeah, you're not paying on it. You're still being a consumer.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You're being a big mad consumer. But then that is like, if you look at the digital world, everything you're seeing is an advertisement for this thing, and this person's sponsored by this thing, and they're showing that off, and you're like, fuck, he looks cool wearing that, and I don't look cool. And even if you're subconsciously saying that, you know what I mean? You're still like, yeah. I tried to minimalise a little bit. Even I think it was maybe a year or so after that. Even just sort of cut down things. I was like, fuck, I had too much stuff here. I don't wear any of this stuff. It fucking does my head in. Nothing ever seems tidy. It's just too much fucking stuff for the space that I have. So I threw a little clothes out, and most of the stuff I had was black then. Just like black t-shirts, black whatever. But then see before you know it, like it just all builds back up again. You're like, where did this stuff come from? How did I mindlessly be a consumer to buy more stuff?
Yeah.
I don't really wear lots of different stuff. You know what I mean? You're kind of coaching all the time. So when you're coaching all the time, you kind of wear all the same clothes. And it's good to wear different clothes, but we don't even really go out and socialise that much. So we don't need lots of different like outfits and stuff.
Gym clothes.
So yeah, I mean you could have way more of a minimalist life. I try to do it in our house all the time. We have 3 kids.
That's be tough.
And and Claire and myself, and you just have a lot of stuff like. But I could do is just get a skip once a year and just bum it all out. But what a waste. Wouldn't it be better if you never actually bought the fucking shit? Like,
yeah, but if you get a skip and you're like, fuck, it cost me £1,000 5 years ago, that's why. That TV, you know, and all this, you know, all this materialistic stuff you don't really need because it doesn't bring you happiness.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've heard this is the story that you've seen people tell this story time and time again where it's like they come into money and they buy all the things that they want. I mean, okay, I'll ask you a question, hypothetical, right? If you won what the Euro Millions, 100 million, what are you doing?
Cash called me 80 grand this week.
80 grand this. So you went to Euro Millions, you're doing a cash call. Fuck.
Well, really, from a relatable point of view, say like, so cash call this week,
right,
Good FM cash call,
right,
80 grand.
80 grand. You
get the call on Friday, 80 bags, what are you doing, mate? Probably. Because I think about this, because on one of the obviously they promote it in the morning time, and Pete's Norton was like, 80 grand, what do you do? What's the first thing you're buying? And they always ask the people, like, what's the first thing you're doing with the money? What's the first thing you're buying? 80 grand, it's not like changing money, but well, it is.
To be honest, I'd probably go on holiday, probably like a big reset, like a month somewhere, just a reset.
Holiday would be the first thing I would probably say.
Same, just a big reset.
And then maybe try and be smart with some of the rest.
Yeah, because I think if you just act off impulse, you'll do stupid shit and buy like a new car. 40
grand car, if I was depreciated in a second, you fucking bought it drive it away, it's fucking worth 5 grand less.
It's mad, like.
But again, mate, like cars, I'm not a car person, right? And I was thinking about this the other day because we sold one of our cars, so we just drive about in like a car we paid cash for a couple of years ago, just like a standard. Do you know what I mean? It's just a Boxer Insignia, 2000 fucking whatever, 9 or whatever. It's hanging together, mate. It's fucking hanging together. The kids,
not Facinate.
So I was thinking about that too, because all these fucking things in my head, and I started thinking stuff, and there's a wee voice in my head, like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons, where you're saying fucking operate, not Facinate and all, and I'm like, right, okay. But I think it's different if you have investments or funds, and it's probably all do my situation in the minute because obviously all the money's in the gym and everything else. When you're thinking about these different, if you have a vehicle that is a runaround, right? But you have that vehicle because at the minute you're strapping, you don't want to afford to try and buy a new one. That's different than choosing to drive around in a scrapper, but you have the money. So it's different.
Yeah.
So when I was driving about ours, I was like, I actually want a newer car, and we all get a different car. We all change our car, just not right now. But I want a newer car because I want to drive something that looks nice and I want to drive something that feels nice again. That's what I want to do.
But that wears off quick.
Yes, that wears off quick. But I think like being in a situation where, like if I had the money there and I was choosing not to, that would be different than. So I think it's all well and good, like fucking emoji or whatever the fuck you call your man on Instagram, saying I drive about in a fucking wee beat up shitty car.
Yeah.
When he's got millions in the bank.
Yeah.
That's different than somebody who's got a couple of £100 in the bank and is driving about a shit car, because you feel like you're kind of, if this shits itself, fuck what am I going to do? Whereas like if he shits up, he's buying our shitter. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's a different, I think your perspective is different.
Yeah.
When you have the choice. I think what I'm saying is, when you can choose, you want to be in a position where you can choose to do things.
Yeah.
And if you can choose to drive about in a cheaper vehicle and not care, that's absolutely fine. But when it's not, you're doing it not through choice, that's a wee bit different. And at the same time, I don't I know we could get 40-50 grand car, but it'll fucking cost you £500-600 a month.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want to do, yes, absolutely go and do it. But for me, it's like, I don't like cars that much to want to spend £500-600 a month on a vehicle. So I think I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day. I felt quite conflicted about it, because when you're when you're having to do things not through choice, it doesn't feel as good. But whereas if you have the choice to be able to go for like a cheaper vehicle and have investments or money elsewhere, then that's better.
I suppose everyone's different. If you're really into cars, then yeah.
Yes,
You know, but I suppose.
You just had a great car. Like you just your lease just finished on a really good car. So you've had that both ends of the scale.
But
You have a good car, but it costs a lot of money to run.
Unbelievable.
Right?
I'm not joking. Like I'd say I was only driving it like I don't know, once a week, and coming from where I live to here, which is not far, and back is 20 quid of fuel.
Yeah.
And yes, it makes a big loud noise and all the backfires and it's all class, but then it wears off like it does.
Yeah,
You're just on that pedal.
So coming from that, closing the lease off on that, and you're driving a van now, are you thinking, right, okay, I'd want another car like that, or just
no, because I think my perspective in life has changed. Like so what I'm wanting. So this year, I wanted to go and go away, make more holidays. So like I'm saying to myself, like a car was costing me X amount a month, and I realised it's not worth it. But I could use that money, save that money up, and go on a really class holiday in August, which or go away snowboarding again in December maybe hopefully. Yeah. So I can spend money elsewhere. But it's the same thing to you, mate. So I really love snowboarding, and I've got my boots are 300 quid, the bindings are 200, the board 700. You know, people would say like, what the fuck you spend that kind of money on that for? But because I'm really into it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's different.
Yeah, I always say to people, if it matters to you, then it matters to you.
Yeah,
it doesn't, somebody's opinion isn't going to make you want to do something. No. It shouldn't really sway you if it's something you're really into. Same as mountain biking. See, when one of the many hobbies I've had over the years was mountain biking for a short period, and there was guys rolling in like maybe like a £1,200 fucking Clio with a £5,000 bike attached to the top of it, and you're like, fuck, your bike's worth more than your car. But they didn't give a fuck about your car.
No,
because the car was to get the mountain bike from A to B. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't cycle from A to B because it's too far. But you again, if it's something you're really into, but any sports like that, any hobby, I thought mountain bike is going to be fucking dead on. I've got my bike here at your cost. It's cheap. It's free to go into the fucking forest. Oh no, mate. Chain reaction was fucking. See, when you get into all your fucking gear and all, expensive, mate. But any sport's the same. Golf, fuck me.
Was yours a hardtail, or was yours a?
No, I had 2 or 3 different ones. So I had a double suspension bike, and then a downhill bike, and then I had a hardtail as well.
Really?
Yeah. There was a point I had 3 bikes.
Really? Where are they now?
I don't know, mate.
Oh.
No, one I'm still in share actually. Yeah, ghost. But yeah, never really. I had
a motorbike there too a few years ago. I got rid of it. Not because I wanted to, but because anybody who says bikes aren't dangerous, they are. Do you know, I've seen since I was a kid, man, I loved bikes. Seen with Northwest, and I loved all that shit. Like I was all about it. I loved everything about them, and then things were once I got the type of money, I was moving into a different house and didn't have anywhere to store the bike. I was like, fuck, I really don't want to sell this. And then I kind of thought to myself, like, well, the time it happened, I was coming down the back roads to Craig Outlet, just over between Donald and Bangor, and there's a big long straight, and I pulled out past the car at 70 miles an hour, right? And there was a woman in a Range Rover, and she's probably about 300-400 metres away, and she went to pull out and stopped, and I was like, oh, they're on, no worries. And see at the very last minute, mate, boom, she pulled out, and I had to go hard, hard on the brakes, back end of the bike, so it was breaking that hard, the back end of the bike started snaking. And I was about 22 mile an hour all the way home, and I was like, and it was in around that time where I was going to myself, I don't really have anywhere to put this bike, and then for storage of it was going to cost me £100 a month, and then whenever that happened, it was like, this is the universe trying to tell me something.
Yeah, so I think Big Michael in here, he has motorbikes. He always had motorbikes. So had some fucking crackers. But he was saying like you can get like as opposed to cars, like you can get a really good motorbike for like £300.
So I had a Suzuki GSX-R 600, and like it's insane how quick these things pick up speed. So like, and you become acclimatized to the speed too. So you could be doing a bit more than 70, right? Not that I 71, 72, right? And I'm incriminating myself. And
it's in the past,
and but it gets it, you sort of gets to the stage where you feel like, I'm not even moving here, and you could get off, but you look down, you're still doing 70 plus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's the noise, the speed, it just being outside, it's the whole thing, mate, just a bit collective. And if you're like, and I'm not saying I'm an adrenaline junkie, but if you love all that stuff, sort of a way to escape, it could be a recipe for disaster. Like, and it's not so much you, like, I mean, because you could be the best rider in the world, but it's other people on the road, mate.
Well, man, it's, yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think, like, probably 90% of the time it's other.
And you get more
people on the
confident
road,
too. This
like-
is what happens as well. You get more confident, and then you're maybe you do get your knee down, and you're like, I'm Valentino Rossi.
The thing about a bike is you only really get one chance.
Yeah, I do.
Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you come off that thing at any sort of speed, mate, you're fucking.
My brother's mate, he can, and that same part of the road I'm telling you about, there's a tractor, so there's a tractor and there was like 2 cars, or a line of 2 or 3 cars, and on the strip of the road, and he didn't see that the tractor was indicating right, and he pulled out at like 130, 140, passing these cars, hit the back wheel of the tractor, and shattered, all that there, shattered all that, and he had like a skin graft on his leg. And he's lucky he's alive.
Yeah,
Like,
he's got
so
the same, yeah,
lucky he's alive.
yeah.
But he's the same, love bikes, and then his dad made him promise that he would buy another bike, and he has that one since.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose they can be quite dangerous. But again, it's just, a lot of the time is to do with other people people pulling out and all. And
See, I thought she seen me, she was like, she went away and then stopped, and I said, oh shit, sees me in the last minute, bump.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, maybe just a wee loss in concentration on her, but that could have lost fucking your life, like.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not fucking cool. So no more bikes in, big Mark?
We'll see. We'll see, man. I love it, like.
Yeah, I can't imagine you on a fucking bike. What size does the bike need to be, mate?
No, so you only think that. So, because because I love sports bikes, so you could be better with like, I don't know, something Africa Twin, that's the style of bike, which is like, no big cruiser, you see, better with something like that. But,
Same talking about.
I mean, they're alright, but for me, I kind of thought to myself, fuck, I want a sports bike, and got a sports bike, and then I was like, this thing's going to be like a mini moto. Remember that wee mini moto? But it actually wasn't, it was comfy enough.
Yeah.
I remember I got a double cramp one time, I was over in Scotland, and we come through this wee village, and you'd be riding for so long, and so you're this here, right, and I got a double cramp, both quads, and I was going up to the traffic lights, and the traffic lights were going red, and I was like, fuck, I couldn't get my legs, I couldn't take my legs off the...
Just fall over?
No.
Just fucking cope sideways?
No, I managed, the traffic lights changed, just. No, but it was good.
Did you go away much on them?
I was away in Scotland twice, I think. It was class.
Quite nice to drive in Scotland, isn't it? Like?
Yeah, see up in the Highlands, I had no idea where we were, but just sort of, me and 2 other fellas just took off.
Cruising around.
Class, man. And then I remember being on the boat, this is mad too, like, so there was some big charity bike ride on, we weren't part of it, and we were on the boat, and the bottom deck of the boat, so the bottom deck of the boat was completely filled, I mean, there's only 500 bikes, maybe more, and so you get on the bike anyway, and you're coming back into Belfast, and they said don't start your engines yet, so somebody started their engine, so of course everyone started their engine, and next thing you know, the guy sitting there, the stand line guy standing, turn their fucking engines off, and everybody's like redlining, they're like limiting their bike, right, so the whole, you could feel the vibration in your chest, and your wee man came over and tried to take the keys out of your guy at the right front row's bike, and your man went like this, and flipped into the bird and done a burnout, and then of course, and then, so, and this is no word of lie, so whenever the back end of the boat came down, the guy who gave your boy the fingers popped the wheelie past the police, but there were so many bikes, mate, they were just coming off the police, didn't know where to go.
Fuck's.
I was fucking mental. Like,
what's the danger there of everybody revving their engine?
I don't know, but hey,
carbon monoxide.
But you could feel it. See in your chest, you could feel the vibration in your chest.
Good bit of atmosphere there.
Oh, it's unreal, aye. That's class. No, I do miss it, like, there's no doubt I do miss it, but whether we get back on or not, we'll see.
Back on the fucking bicycle. It's not something I've ever been interested in, honestly, you know. I always feel like I would be probably too fucking dangerous on it.
You see.
So stupid, you know what I mean? Make a mistake and get fucking chopped in half, man.
I remember on a private road.
Don't tell me 3 minutes now.
Well, we're doing thinking about trying to pop a wheelie, so you can do it by like slipping the clutch, right? So it's like you hear and you go so you tip the clutch in. So I was doing it and the front wheel was coming off like about an inch, right? And I started getting shit. I said, fuck this, I need to get more revs. Get more revs. I went from here to the fucking bike completely vertical.
You jump off the back of it?
No, I managed to save it. I don't know why.
Sake, man.
You just do stupid shit. Like, I was only, what is it, like 23, 24. That was good. 6 years ago.
Sounds dangerous, big Mark.
That was good, but I loved it.
Big Mark, talk to me about this fucking this youth weightlifting class.
Oh, yes. So we're going to be holding a youth weightlifting class in BSc for 11 to 17. Teaching them the fundamentals of both lifts, the snatch and clean and jerk.
You excited about that?
Actually, I'm, mate, because like, I know how impactful and how powerful it can be, and empowering too. It can be, and has been for me, and especially I think if you were to bring that to teens, you know, and show them that they are strong and they are capable and they can do these things.
New skill as well.
It's a new skill as well, mate, and it's not something, you know, there's a guy I've been coaching for the past 2 years, Samuel McFall, really good weightlifter. He's just turned 18. He was a high level CrossFitter too. For his age category, he was ranked number 2, I think, in Ireland. When he was 15 at the CrossFit Open. Oh, no. So he was good, mate. He made that transition from CrossFit into weightlifting, and he's going to be something special. Like.
He got gold medal in that last competition.
Really
gold medal.
Very good. He's got a really good mindset for it. I think it's more like, so yes, you're going to be teaching people how to lift, how to snatch, which is a very technical. It's a super technical lift, and the clean and jerk as well. But I think it's more the teaching the kids and the mindset around it, about you have to believe in yourself, and you have to back yourself, and I think it'll be really empowering for them. So I'm looking forward to it.
I was thinking about the promo and stuff for it, and how do we market it and stuff like that. But I think those are all the key points. I think what I would prefer to market it with, because those are things like, obviously you're learning a new skill, but you've like see with kids, like they've lots of time in life to learn, but confidence, building confidence is the main thing that they can take forward to any aspect of life. Building confidence would be just the number one thing.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, like say it's same with our youth program in here. We're teaching the kids all different sort of strength moves and getting them stronger and sort of more powerful and all that stuff, which is amazing, getting them to move well. But if all they got from these classes was self-confidence, fucking job done. Who really gives a fuck about like that? Like all the rest of that stuff is all well and good, and it'll set them up better for the more physical activity through life, especially as they go on into adulthood and whatever they decide to do, if it's going to be a specific sport or if it's going to be a style of training. But like self-confidence, like if you have enough self-confidence, you can go into any sport, or you can go in at entry level to any sport or any walk of life and just massively succeed, overachieve. You know what I mean? You're going to go in and fucking smash it.
I think what's good as well about it is it's going to be over 6 weeks, and by this, so you'll be able to see the progress from week 1 to week 6.
Bro.
And then in week 6, so you'll be saying this is what you're going to be doing, this is what we're going to aim for, this is what we're hopefully going to be achieving at week 6. And a lot of them will be like, I could never do that.
You do your test at week 6.
Yeah, your test at week 6.
Even showing them just how they move on week 1 versus week 6 and the difference. Because 6 weeks consistent training is, I mean, you can get quite a lot, and you've done quite a lot of literature on this 6 week block too. So it's not just about physical learning; it's about visual learning too. And the stuff you've got for them is actually class. Really excited for it. I have a funny feeling that it's going to be busy, and then as the 6 weeks goes on, when we go into the next part, it's going to be super busy, because people are going to see, this is weightlifting is a really good sport, but it's probably a minority sport. I think in terms of like all the other sports that we have in this country.
I think
it's definitely a minority sport.
CrossFit revived weightlifting, because I think it was kind of dying. I'm not saying it was kind of dying. It was quite a. Apparently, I read this the other day. Apparently, women were only allowed to compete in the year 2000.
Really?
I think it was 2000, 1999 or 2000. When I compete, so I think CrossFit sort of revived weightlifting. Even some of the best weightlifters now are women. Her and Maddie Rogers, I don't know if you ever watched her, unbelievable. Kate and I, class. These are both American weightlifters, really good. Somebody I look up to in that sort of space would be big guy Zach Tallender. He's used to be a CrossFitter, went weightlifting, and now he's a weightlifting coach. I think he competed at national level in America, but he's 6'7". Or no, maybe he's got, I don't know if he's 6'7", but he's got a 6'7" wingspan, which is exactly what I am. So I kind of look at him and go, I mean, he can, I know he's coming from, he had like a collegiate level, he was a lacrosse player, I think, and all had very strong.
See, in schools in America they teach weightlifting, do you know what I mean? So they have that in them from early. This is why I'm excited about this youth program, because it's one thing trying to teach an adult weightlifting, because you're trying to undo all the bad movement habits we picked up. We've been sitting in fucking chairs, and kids are different. Kids are already mobile, so like life immobilizes people. So in modern life,
I read something on this, and if you look at babies, like I said, babies, like a kid that's 1 or 2 that's walking, if it's going to pick something up off the ground, it squats perfectly.
oh, 100%.
But
I can sit on the bottom of the squat.
sit on the bottom of the squat, no problem. But apparently what happens is, well, it's true, and I don't know, because you can't believe everything you read on the internet, but apparently what happens is they copy their parents. So like they'll see you bent over,
And pick something up.
and then they like, oh.
Yeah, probably has something to do with that, learn behaviour. But yeah, like see what you can achieve with people from an early age, and like sort of instilling the good movement patterns and sort of teaching them that new skill. That's how good it would be. Like if somebody came into you age 11, imagine by the age of 15 how good they would move.
Even cool.
Yeah.
Even cool. Like he.
For sure, yeah.
Big change to him, like.
This is it. Like it's just it's hard to believe he's that young. He definitely looks a lot older.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's 12. So fuck, imagine what he's going to be like when he's 18.
It's going to be.
Even at like CrossFit in general, because he's super fit. So if he's strong and super fit and he's good at his lifts and everything else, if he sticks at it, it'd be very good.
This next level of CrossFitters coming up, they're going to be unstoppable. Because a lot of these kids are like, so CrossFit's a relatively new sport, and a lot of these kids are coming up, like Mallory O'Brien, like I'm not sure what age she was whenever she started, but if you like, for example, like Cole there, like if he stays on that path he's on, like sky's the limit.
The thing about it is, so like Mal O'Brien, like she, like yeah, I'm not really sure what age she is. She's 17, 18. So even when she started, say she started like 2 years ago, for dog's sake, and say like 16, she's been on like an adult, like a proper adult full-time progression plan from when she was 16. Like the jump she's made in 2 years, like she's probably one of the best in the world. Like of anybody. So that's not like just fucking people her own age or age category or anything like that. Like she is an absolute baller. But yeah, I agree. I think like all the information's out there, the programs are out there, the coaches are out there. So if somebody wants to get into something at that young age, they can really cause a wave, like.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to it now. I generally am, because I've got all the programming all done there, and even sort of interested to teach them. That's what I said, like a mindset around it. Oh, because it's so important. I think it's something that a lot of coaches don't touch on. Is mindsets around weightlifting, but especially whenever you hear people saying back yourself and bend, pull and do this and drive hard, but it's like you need to actually like make them believe.
Ben Bergeron talks loads about that for his CrossFit athletes. Same thing, yeah. Like with any sort of walk of life, there's so much more to it. Mindset is like, mindset's everything. This is what I mean about like self-confidence, self-belief. You need to believe, like especially with your lifts, like especially with weightlifting. If you're going to compete and you're on stage, you gotta believe that you're gonna physically do the fucking thing.
See that comp I competed at? See my opening weight, I missed it. So before I was warming up, I missed it. Like literally a minute before I was meant to go on. I went, holy shit, we are fucked now.
But yeah.
And then went down, nearly, and I sent you the video, nearly missed it, right?
Yeah.
And then it says, right, let's turn the afterburners on here, let's go, I can't do this. I stuck 6 kilo on, additional 6 kilo. Hit the second one, then it says, right, there's another 4 kilo. Then I was going for the last lift and absolutely put it through the roof. But that was just that let's go for it. Like I need
you like the knock in self-belief just so close to your first lift.
Oh, it was like honestly,
it's not enough time to recover.
No,
you know, not enough time to mentally recover your fucking mindset.
Because I said to wee Samboy, I said, Samboy, I need to hit this again. He's like, there's no time, they're calling you. I'm like, fuck. Let's go.
To be fair, if you had hit it again and nailed it, you probably wouldn't have nailed it. But you just not enough time.
No.
Fuck, I don't know what to do about that. Is it fairly common though in weightlifting to hit a lift direct before you go and hit a lift for like a confidence thing?
I mean, I don't know what other people do, but I know for me, I would like to hit like at least 97%ish of what you want to open at.
Of your first lift?
The first lift, yeah. And I'm like not so much not so much in succession. So you wouldn't be like, what I did was wrong. So like I didn't realise it was going on that quick. So I probably should have left it a few minutes, so maybe 3 or 4 minutes. So I hit it and I was like, I'm going on here for 3 or 4 minutes. But then they called me and I was like, oh shit. But then Sambo was like, come on, big son, let's go, you can do this. And I'm like, I can't. And then you have that belief in yourself anyway.
Yeah, you know, sometimes, so even if you have that self-belief and everything else, sometimes like you can tell you, like, you're just saying the words, you're just ticking the boxes and saying like, no, I can do this, but you don't feel it. And like, then that first lift, you probably just didn't feel it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You're probably like, yes, no, I got this mindset, I'm rock solid, but you probably didn't believe it.
No, I didn't.
Do you know what I mean? You're like,
I actually did.
yeah, so you're all like, yes, I got this. No, and you're trying to convince yourself. But
You're lying to yourself.
Like, yeah, you're lying to yourself
Yeah.
because you're just saying the words. You're just taking.
Yeah.
It's just a box ticking exercise. I listened to something during the week, and they talked about this with the habits that you do. So, writing down. If you're doing the same habits all the time, you're writing down your goals in the morning. You're writing down your gratitudes and everything else. Eventually, it becomes a box ticking exercise. So you don't actually. It doesn't have as much impact on you anymore. You're doing it for the sake of doing it, just because you've always done it. It's still good to have those things at the forefront of your mind, but sometimes you gotta switch it out and just maybe do something else and like practice what you preach in a different way. Do something actively towards your goals instead of just writing down your goals, or sometimes you need to mix it about. But when you just keep doing the same thing, sometimes it just becomes a box ticking exercise. Even if it did work for you once, it might not always work for you again. So then you need to work out different ways, right? Okay, I just missed a lift here before I go on. I'm telling myself here, I can do this. What else do I have in the bank here that I can say that's going to fucking bring me back to normal? And that's when you have your, maybe something you do, your routine, your meditative state that'll just take you right back to the point of where you feel the strongest. And then you go and hit that lift, but try and find something that you can attach onto in less than 60 seconds rather than just the words, because at the end of the day, like, you saying to yourself, I've got this, doesn't mean you have it, because you can't believe it, because they're just fucking words, and you saying them, even if you're saying them out loud or into yourself, like, they're just words. If you are trying to convince yourself and you know, like, you're not feeling good, so
you're walking out on the stage.
So you need to create something or do something or have some sort of mantra where you can reset the zero, and it takes you back to that strongest point. I remember one of the other hobbies that I've had over the years was like a place called KJ, Karate Jutsu, like an MMA style gym, but they taught like their style was more like a karate jutsu type. I don't even know the ins and outs, but anyway, fantastic place. Still going down Glengormy. Danny Cole, the guy that runs it, it's a charity. The work he gives that place is absolutely incredible. Things he does for the kids and all those guys coming up. He's actually made MMA qualification that the kids can do, actually get something for the end of it. It's like GCSE, something like that, the equivalent to, because the work you have to put in, but it's so much to do with mindset. And this was long after I'd left, but I'd always just watched the stuff that they do, and it was incredible. So they would go in and spar, and then he would get them, like, when they're sparring there, when they've done something really strong and powerful, to get into this position and do this breathing routine, and even just to the point where, like, your two fingers are touching together and you're just coming back to zero, or your hands in your head, or something that will always reset you back to that particular point, right? So when you feel amazing, or like an amazing song comes on, or something really fires you up, you do this thing, and then it means then every time you do that thing, it takes you back to there, right? And I've seen them do it. I've seen one of the guys rolling, he was a fighter in there, I've seen him do it in the corner, like between rounds, just like when, I don't know whether it's when he's felt tired or deflated or anything like that, but the way, I'm not bastardising this, but it just takes you back to that one point where you felt amazing. And if you do this every time you feel amazing, if you've had an amazing sparring session, if you've had an amazing gym session, if you've done an amazing lift, you do this one thing, and that's your trigger for that emotion and that feeling. So every time you nail a big fucking lift, you do this one thing, this one sort of position with your hands, or you get into this one thing that your body recognises, your brain recognises as your strongest time, or a really strong point, a really strong moment. And then anytime you feel like you have that self-doubt, it's no longer just words. You're saying
it's a feeling. It's, you know what it's a bit like? It's probably like you'll hear a song on the radio that you haven't heard for years, and then it was maybe a time in your life where you were away on holiday with Claire and the kids, and you hear that song and it takes you back there.
Jasper, one of the guys that trains here, there was a song on the radio, or not on the radio, on the class the other day, we were doing legs, and it was Kano, P's and Q's. And he says to me, I had a horrific car accident that song. But he says every time he hears it, he says it's so vivid. It's so vivid. He crossed across like 3 lanes of fucking traffic and like fucking spun the car off the road and everything, and that song was just blaring the whole time. And obviously after the accident, can you imagine the silence but the music's still pumping? And he says like, we're not going to be alive, but that song was on. He says every time you hear that song, it's just like
it's
P's and Q's, just straight. He says I know every single word of that song. But how fucking mad. But yeah, so when you have so Kieran was talking about
positive.
So he was talking about the Hans Zimmer song, and he does his positive affirmations. He listens to a Hans Zimmer song, and that is like a really powerful, uplifting song to him. He does affirmations, and then that's if he was having a down day, a doubtful day, or doubting himself, he would go back to that exact moment, listen to that exact song, and it just takes you back to your strength, your sort of inner strength. So so that's how the guys used it, and Danny was teaching it. But again, that seemed to be an incredible tool for them. But it'll probably be a really good tool for you because of how much mindset you need for weightlifting. Because even if you've nailed all your lifts, and you're feeling fucking great, you've still one more lift to go in, and you've always got elements of self-doubt. But you kind of need to, if you're going to nail something you've never done before, you probably need to have like unreasonable self-confidence, like above and beyond what you're actually capable of.
Yeah, but I think people sort of misinterpret that sometimes as arrogance. You know, you do see it a lot. It's like, especially with the mates, you'll see guys and they're pacing up and down the floor like
the way they walk up to the bar,
like a lion and a cage, mate. And then some people from the outside are like, he's fucking big, he's glad. He must have a massive ego, but you need to. You need to in order to. For that moment, you need to believe. For that moment, your ego needs to be bigger than the lift, and bigger than what you're actually capable of. Because then, how does anybody achieve anything above what they're capable of, unless you actually? You need to put yourself in that. You see the little boys standing behind the bar and they are screaming, like, and then the whole room's sitting there going, but that's them getting into this.
This headspace. At the end of the day, like when you're in that headspace, I've been in similar situations, but you don't see anybody else in the room.
No, you don't.
The room isn't there. Like,
no, it's not.
You know what I mean? It's just you. Because at the end of the day, like it is just you. Like they're there watching you, and the lights are on, and all the rest of it. But if I said you pinpoint somebody in the crowd, you'd be looking and you wouldn't see anybody. No. It's lights. I did like a Charlie Rocks match, and that's exactly what it was like. I thought it was a really big crowd here and all. I didn't see a fucking thing. I can't even remember seeing the guy who was fucking fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not what you think.
It's hard to see the fear.
Good on the game plan, but goes out the window, mate.
Everyone's got a game plan to get punched in the face.
The guy I was fighting, I definitely thought, I trained with him for the last 6 weeks in the build up to it. I thought I was better than him. And I think it was a draw, the way it worked out. But he definitely beat me because like I didn't know what to fucking do. See when he started fucking coming at me and winning on me, like I was like, I just want to fucking do this here. I'm gonna go in and work a wee bit in this bit and then just step off a wee bit. See when he came at me with him, I didn't have a fucking clue, mate. I got my shit together for parts of it, but like see for the most of it, I can't even remember it.
But see that.
So when you think like you've got this crowd on you, it's you v you. That is literally it. So that's the mindset, and like that's weightlifting. Imagine taking that mindset to kids, where and those kids conquering that. They know everybody has to compete, but it would be good. It would be brilliant if some of them could compete. But imagine conquering that mindset and then going into like normal mundane situations in life, smashing them.
Oh yeah.
It's like mental resilience in the water. Like it's you deal with that stress in those what would appear to be like feel like life or death when you're going into that water, and you conquer that and you come out, and then you have a normal stress situation. You just like that's what that's no big deal. But for kids who are going to be dealing with lots of fucking stress, especially growing up in the digital age with everything else, imagine teaching them the mindset that they can do anything, they can control their own mind.
I wish I had the knowledge, I suppose everybody does, I wish I had the knowledge I have now 15 years ago. So I'm sure we all do.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have gained that knowledge if you hadn't had the life you've had for the last 15 years.
It needed to happen exactly the way it happened for me to
have the knowledge.
Like I sometimes reflect on this and I'm like, this is going to sound mental to say, but see, going through the experiences I went through, so like getting cancer and the myasthenia gravis and all the stuff that came with that, I'm now grateful for it because it's put me on the path I'm on now.
It needed to happen.
It needed to happen exactly the way it happened in order for me to be where I am today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel today, I feel stronger physically, mentally, emotionally. I feel like I belong. So I feel as if I'm where I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
But whenever I look back to even before the cancer, my life was kind of spiraling out of control anyway. You know, so it wasn't like I said it was spiraling.
Do you know what? You probably wouldn't have. Like, I see if you hadn't have had all that stuff and you'd have just been in the same place as you were. If you fucking got distracted there because the fucking thing, something fucking screwed up the fucking toilet there. So we spare me the air freshener.
Yeah.
If you hadn't have had all that experience, you might have still been doing the same thing you were doing, right? And had a good life and a good. But you wouldn't have realised you were spiraling out of control. You would just that would have been your normal.
Yeah.
So that out of controlness would have just been normality.
Yeah.
And loads of people are spiraling out of control, but like just think this is just normal life. But it's not okay to feel shit sometimes. Like it's not okay to live a pretty mundane life where you feel shit 70% of the time. Like you deserve better. Like you can fucking go out and live a fucking far better existence and a better life. You just gotta let yourself do it and step outside the fucking comfort zone. But those things needed to happen to you, so you could be in this place. You could have that experience that you've had to be able to go and help other people. Helping other people for you probably wouldn't be the same without the perspective that you have now. Do you know what I mean?
Because there's somebody out there, you know, it's kind of like being proactive rather than reactive. So especially with the basically for the kids, you know, the weightlifting for the kids, if you're able to empower them, you know, you're being proactive rather than reactive. I'm not saying to have any problems, but like, you know, I think so many kids grow up, especially in our area, it's like they've grown up without having, Spot actually talked about that, like without having like guidance, maybe like guidance or somebody telling them that they're doing a good job, or somebody saying I'm proud of you, or somebody saying, you know, big pat on the back, or building them up. Do you know what I mean?
I think we all have problems, whether you come from a poor background with no help, or you come from a background where you have lots of money and too much help. I think we all have our own hang-ups. Everybody has a hang-up, different ends of the scale, but everybody has some sort of hang-up. So I think building sort of confidence and mindset within everybody it's important.
So important, 100%. Yeah, especially even I did a thing where I was writing a letter to my 10-year-old self. Would you actually tell me about doing it?
Yeah, I still haven't done that.
Still not done it?
Too emotional,
Yeah,
mate.
it's fucking hard.
I feel very.
It's hard.
Yeah, I feel like it's something I would love to do. I feel like something I would love to share, but I also feel like I'm just like avoiding it because I feel like I've been very emotional. Fuck, see when I went, we'll finish up here shortly, we won't get this done in under an hour, but when we went to hot yoga, this has happened the last few times, hot yoga on Saturday with the wonderful Joanne Ashley Gray at Boiler Room. I go through this real deep thinking, like almost like a fucking traumatic counselling.
Yeah.
And when I come out of there, like I don't want to fucking speak to anybody. I feel, and it took me even when we went to the sea the next day, I was still like that.
Yeah.
And it takes me so long to come out of that. I feel like I just go into this real deep thinking place, and you're battling all those demons, and you're just dealing. But you know what it comes down to, mate? It's all childhood.
Yeah.
And I had a really good childhood in terms of like things that, like I had a good childhood, but it was my behaviour with ADHD through childhood, always feeling like you're doing something wrong, you're not good enough, you know what I mean? And like nobody said those things to me.
Yeah, but so many people, so many kids feel that way.
Yeah, but nobody said those things to me. And like the environment I grew up in, like we had all the stuff, everything I wanted to do. We, hobby wise, parents were always there to take me. Like I had all that stuff, but I just carried all this stuff inside this. I didn't realise it did until you start going into these deeper. And hot yoga, for whatever fucking reason, takes me there. And I swear I come out of it and I'm like, I don't even want to fucking speak.
Yeah.
I feel like I look a million years older. I feel like I've had a proper traumatic experience coming out of it. But it's good, mate, because you need to, you've no idea what you're holding on to. You need to let go. But in order to let go, you need to actually fucking revisit it. You gotta face it. And that, writing that down as what would you write to your 10-year-old self? That's going directly into it.
I'll not. No, maybe.
Listen, you can share. You don't need to share. I reckon it would be quite an emotional thing.
I'll start crying on camera.
Yeah, I feel like for me, if I started,
that's tough. Like.
And Ted, like my youngest, he's ADHD, and I'm thinking, and it's so good that I have these thoughts and feelings because I'm very conscious about him and about what I'm saying to him, the behaviour, the things that he does, and I'm very conscious about how I react to the things that he does. Instead of sort of having to go at him all the time, it's just trying to make him understand some things and talk to him properly. But yeah, it's very toots and most like. Well, that's for another episode.
So
We definitely.
we'll get them.
You definitely get that out. It would be good, mate. I think it's important for everybody to do, and you shouldn't be ashamed to hide behind these things. Just tough to say, because it's going to take you to a real, raw emotional place, like that. And you're way older than you were that you're in the place that you're thinking, but it's going to take you somewhere that.
Because you still have a 10-year-old boy in here.
Where you feel vulnerable, mate.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. I think if you were to reveal that, nobody knows that.
No.
That's you're like. Yeah, that would make you feel extremely vulnerable. But I think an important part of growth, and if we're going to lead by example, maybe it's something that we should do. Like if I'm going to advise, like I advise you to do it, and I haven't done it.
Yeah.
So maybe if we're going to.
I was in work doing it, and I had the van, and the tears fucking flying.
Yeah, but it just shows how raw or how close to the surface that emotion is that we bury. Do you know what I mean? Because it's there, like it's fucking there. And it's affecting our stuff we do now, but we don't realise. We just think like, here, listen, it's a child, like, I'm way different now, but you've still all this stuff, and you need to. I don't even know if you ever fully like heal, but you need to let go.
I think it's acceptance of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, that stuff happened that's made you who you are, but you need to sort of acknowledge it and sort of it's part of you, like.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Mark.
That was us.
Closing up. We've got this class here, 12 o'clock.
Yes, man. So we
Girl, yeah.
where to find you, Big Sean?
Oh, Coach RB _BSC.
And it's Mark Adams Coaching _ BSC.
Go on, son. Or just Best Sat Club Podcast. We've got on kids now.
Get amongst it.
Yeah, this is on YouTube too.
Yes.
Me, Big Sean.
My guns always loaded, yeah, you notice. I'm certified with the shit, boy. I'm certified.